President Trump's tweet that inspired me. You know, he called out the city of Baltimore and brought national attention to it. And so when everybody was doing so much talking, nobody was taking action. I said, I'm going to go do it myself, even if it's just me on a street corner. So I just never stopped. That was in August that we did the first Baltimore cleanup. We went back a second time. Now we're here in Los Angeles. But this is different. I was not wearing a hazmat suit in Baltimore, but this was a much different situation, not only because this was twice to 3 times as much trash as West Baltimore, but we're dealing with different situations, like, for example, typhus. And some people are even saying the bubonic plague might even be something here. So we wanted to make sure our volunteers were 100% safe. Gloves, masks, hazmat.
Yeah, so when I first pulled up, I saw lots of trash, people with hazmat suits on, and I'm like, I think I came very underprepared because all I had was gloves and a mask. I knew they told us, bring proper protective equipment and stuff, but I didn't realize it was going to be this bad. I mean, I came up, we're starting to haul away trash, and there's literally dead rats everywhere. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't even know if I'm allowed to be here or not, but it was really bad.
So if you look over there, basically it went all the way to that car with the tarp over it from this fence, right? So, and it was at least this tall, right? And we had to walk over it. We had to get the carts out first. So we pulled all the carts out, and then we had to start getting the trash out. Then that's when all the rats came.
And what do you think the biggest threat is right now that these people are facing? Do you think it's sanitation?
I would say sanitation, healthcare access. I mean, you have typhus, bubonic plague that are coming back in LA for the first time in the United States in I don't know how many years. It's a humans helping humans kind of thing, right? We want to help these people. It's not about political party, whether it's Democrats or Republicans. They're all humans here. They all made poor life decisions maybe, but at the end of the day, we need to just make sure that they have a good sustained living space, right? And it doesn't spread out to the rest of the community. I mean, we only just made a little dent. It keeps going. So we might have to come back another day. We don't even know.
I know many of the people that live here. I help out a lot of people, and I want to help. There's a sanitation issue here with this. Been advocating trying to get trash dumpsters for several months now. To get somebody bringing a dumpster so we can get all the trash loaded up into it and get it out of here, because it was a health and safety issue for me here. And trying to get these people to come together as a community and work together and get the trash out so that they don't have to live in squalor like this. Well, the city is, it's more the war on homelessness more than anything helping them out. They haven't been helping out as much, and I don't know. I think they can handle things a lot better and work on things better. They're not doing what they could be doing.
And what is your message today to not only average readers or viewers, but also to politicians?
Let's just look into challenging Jones versus LA. So Jones versus LA made it legal to sleep on the sidewalk and have tents. So if we made it where, it was an ADA violation, for example. So you have American Disability Act. So you have, you need to have wheelchair access on the sidewalks, for example. So that's one way to challenge it so that we don't have people sleeping on the street. And then Prop 47. People need to read up on why they voted for Prop 47, because a lot of people aren't aware that it released all these people onto the streets that were invading homes, invading cars. If you were a drug offender, or even if you stole something less than $950 in value versus $150, what it used to be. So, people just need to be more aware as to why the homeless issue has literally at least quadrupled in the past 4 years. The numbers are outrageous. I've been in LA since 2014 full-time. I'm originally from Ohio, but I've been in Orange County before that. And I could just see the progression even in 5 years, how bad it's got.
Last year, 2018, the city of Los Angeles alone spent almost $650 million to combat homelessness. Where did that money go? So that's what I would say to politicians. That's what I would say to Democrat politicians is, where is our money going? We have a $22 billion surplus. We're getting taxed left and right all the time. They just tried to pass Measure EE, which was going to be a property tax for the next 12 years. they're trying to tax and tax and tax us to death. And we have homeless population growing. We have an opioid epidemic. We have people in the streets drugging up in front of restaurants, in front of apartments where people and kids live. We don't care at all if you're a Democrat or Republican. We need help. And again, like, that's why we're out here, because we're so tired of sitting at home, watching these politicians do nothing, make empty promises, and there's people suffering in the streets. And these people want to care about foreign nationals and refugees and asylum seekers from other countries. We have an encampment right behind me of people that are seeking asylum from poverty. So I would say to them, how about we focus about the people here first? You can't give from an empty cup. So how about we focus on Americans first, and then we can help those abroad.
The politicians in California are beyond pathetic. I don't know if this is only their fault. I don't know that. I know a lot of other things are their fault. Schiff, Pelosi, Feinstein, Waters, Swalwell. None of them should be in office. They're complete idiots beyond belief. They're stupid. Like Trump said, stupid people were running this country. Now stupid people are not running it. He's slowly going to be getting rid of all of them.
Well, my name's Jennifer Barbosa. I've lived in Los Angeles since 2001. I've lived in Adam Schiff's district on and off for a few years now, and the district was actually gerrymandered a few years ago, or redistricted, as Democrats say, and so he became my congressman through that process. And since he became my congressman, he's passed 0 bills, and the homelessness has increased 40%. And that's a tremendous problem. Not just, forget about if you're a Republican, a Democrat, whatever. That's just very dangerous, very unsafe, and it, reducing the quality of living also makes businesses leave. So basically, he's been of no benefit to the district. He's actually been a negative having him as our representative, and I really feel like it's time for him to be properly challenged. There are 440,000 registered voters. Over 200,000 are Democrat. Now, how many do you think are Republican?
Not even half.
Not even half. Only 70,000. So if every single Republican votes Republican on election day, which never happens, so you don't have 100% votes, but just say that you do, and half the Democrats stay home, the Democrats still win. But we have this vast group in the center of 130,000 independents, and I'm running as an independent because we need those votes, and also I'm running on a platform that appeals to voters in that, in that group as well. First of all, what I got here, even though I live in LA and I see these homeless encampments every day, this is so much worse than I expected. In fact, there's a rat that just ran past your shoulder there on the left. The smell is horrific. It's scary because just yesterday there was in the news there was a lawsuit by it was actually in Portland, a sanitation worker or a police officer sued the city because he'd gotten sick just by doing what we're doing here, cleaning up. And I'm sure he had gear like we have, but it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and it's frustrating because we pay among the highest taxes in the country here in Los Angeles. We shouldn't have to come out here and clean other people's stuff. The part of the reason we pay those taxes is so that our elected officials and the bureaucracy that they oversee will deal with it, but they're not dealing with it. So getting to your second question of how would we deal with it, we have to look at how our money is being allocated. My impression is that my congressman, Adam Schiff, is not really paying attention for a few reasons. One, he doesn't live here, and B, he's very focused on his hyper-partisan, anti-Trump, Republican versus Democrat thing. If he were really more focused on the district, he would ask, or he would look at how our federal funding, which he oversees, is being spent, being allocated in our district, because it's not necessarily a lack of money, but it's a lack of smart money. It's not being spent in the right way.
Why do you think that there's so much pushback with Trump getting involved?
Well, there's pushback. No matter what Trump says, there's going to be pushback. So that's not surprising. I did notice something a little bit different when he addressed this issue. A few people on the other side said, well, what would you do? And normally we don't hear that from them. And I think it represents a sort of desperation that there are actually some people on the left or some anti-Trump people, because we have them on the right as well, who are willing to work with the president and with the federal government on actual solutions for this problem, because nobody wants to live like this.
How would you compare the situation here to other bigger cities across the country who have a homelessness issue? Do you think it compares?
This is definitely the worst. I mean, I was working with a guy I met through soccer. He works with the homeless in LA, and he's from Jamaica. He told me it's better in Jamaica than it is in Los Angeles. He's like, I tell my friends as a joke. And like, you know, my wife is French, and I had to bring her family here. They wanted to see Hollywood, Venice. I was embarrassed. You know, like, this is America. You know, like, this is not a third world country per se, but it really is in a lot of ways. So we just need to clean up our act and look at what laws created this. It's the ineptitude of the Democrats. It's also Jones versus LA and Prop 47. So we need to attack those that, you know, and challenge them.
My message more is I'm disappointed that a guy from Northern Virginia who lives on the East Coast had to come to the West Coast to help the homeless community and pick up tons of trash here. And my message to the people that are going to watch and listen to the story is I'm a private citizen. So imagine if each of us all across the country started to clean up our local communities. Oh my gosh, we don't need the government. We can do it ourselves as private citizens. So as I'm doing these cleanups across the country, I'm also teaching voter registration across the country, making sure that people can participate in our constitutional republic.